Everyone knows that becoming a Fortnite pro player takes thousands of hours of grinding and an insane amount of dedication. But what does it take to become the best of the best, have the best mechanics, and have the cleanest edits out there? So I decided to find out with the best mechanical player in the world at the moment, which is Koyota. He's a Japanese pro player that some of you guys might have heard of, and he has the best mechanics in the world. He was kind enough to reply. He sent me his full training routine, and it involves 4 hours of free building with a total of 9 hours of grinding every single day. I'm going to be testing out this world's hardest training routine in this video, tracking my improvement day to day, and at the end of it, I'm going to be playing the solo cash cup and we're seeing if I can get my best ever placement. And spoiler, I was able to beat dozens of pro players and get my best ever points at the end of the video. So let's get straight into this with part 1 of this routine that is 9 hours long. All right, so the very first part of this routine is 4 hours straight of free building. And just some context, 4 hours is more than most pros do in a single day when it comes to just practicing, you know, anything, like even including tourneys. So Koyota is doing 4 hours straight of free building, and obviously that's an insane amount of time. That's why this is like the hardest routine to actually do, because you need to have the wrists and the fingers to survive 4 hours of it, which I'm not sure if I do. But I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for that 4 hours, what I want to practice, and I'm going to get straight into it. And of course, when I'm doing this, it's freezing cold in the middle of November in England, so it's going to take me about an hour to get my fingers warm anyway. So after about half an hour of this 4 hour block of free building, I thought, what am I actually doing? I was just running around free building aimlessly, not really thinking about what I was doing. And I decided to practice a bunch of things that I suck at. And of course, since we're moving into trios this year, but what better time to practice my tarping? I was practicing literally every single type of tarp that you can do. Go up layers, down layers, changing angles, changing the side of zone you're on. I was practicing everything. I did this for about half an hour straight. And my tarping felt so good after doing this that I could pretty much misclick and, you know, not do a single misclick, hit every single build and make sure that I was really solid all around. Then the next thing that I started working on was my retakes. One of the biggest parts of this routine is doing a lot of zone wars. And of course, retakes are a really key aspect of being good at zone wars. So I was practicing a bunch of new retakes, like double high walls, going ahead and getting up 2 layers on a single side jump. Lots of really useful skills that I haven't really worked on for a very long time and I kind of sucked at. If you're doing this much free building, you need to go ahead and actually work on things that you're bad at, so you're not just mindlessly free building around. Now, after doing 4 straight hours of free building, it's time to move on to just the second part of this routine, which is 2 hours straight of zone wars. And if you guys don't do any zone wars regularly and you just sort of play realistics, or you play maybe just 1v1 build fights, zone wars are so much better in my opinion, because you're constantly having to think about where the enemies can possibly go to, not losing a high ground, which is really important, as well as your map management as well. And it is genuinely such a good warm-up. And of course, because this is the world's hardest routine, you have to do 2 hours straight of zone wars. So I decided to do about an hour and 20 minutes against resub just in 1v1s, and I was hitting every single max damage chart. I was hitting 185s like it was nothing, and my aim and my tracking my opponents was way better than it normally is. Then I decided to hop into 40 minutes of 2v2s. 2v2s are really good for practicing your 1v2 ability, as well as just your teamwork fighting, like helping out your teammates as well. So I definitely recommend giving this a try, not just doing 2 hours straight of 1v1, since obviously you might get tired after just doing the same person over and over and start making silly mistakes. Oh my
no,
Max,
how did
baby, Max! Now the final part of this routine after the 2 hours of zone wars is 3 hours straight of ranked reload. And genuinely guys, this is the best way of improving. I'm going to make a full video explaining why this is such a good way of improving, but just from doing this, you get so much smarter at fighting. You take less damage in fights, you learn how to clutch better and survive in difficult situations. This is such a good way of improving. Genuinely, give this a try. Go ahead and just do, you know, trio or duo versus squad. Duo versus duo is also really good for ranked reload, or just do solo reload, which is what I did for the majority of this week. The improvement that you get just from doing 3 hours of reload rather than, you know, 3 hours of regular ranked where people just run away in cars the whole time and it's just really Mickey Mouse, or even just 3 hours of scrims where you can't practice fighting that much. The improvement you get from this reload is absolutely insane, and I felt, especially after doing 6 hours of a warm-up, which I've never warmed up 6 hours my entire life, I felt absolutely primed up when I was doing this. I was clutching insanely well, I was hitting an insane amount of max damage shots as well, and I was getting a lot of very nice clips in the background as well. Also, one of the biggest things that I noticed as I was doing this ranked reload grinding for 3 hours straight is after doing the 6 hours of the warm-up beforehand, it wasn't just that my mechanics and piece control were way better than normal just from doing all that free building and the zone wars, but also my aim was just way better. It felt like I'd done like a month-long Kovacs bootcamp where I've been sitting there doing Kovacs every single day. My aim was genuinely insane, and I was hitting so many shots that I normally don't hit, like long-range shots, really nice tracking beams as well on people the entire time.
Oh, what?
Look at that.
Nice shot.
I've hit like 7 shots in a row, by the way. way. Another thing that I noticed as I was doing this ranked grinding is that my edit selection, in just terms of thinking about what edit I'm doing rather than just rushing a bad edit, was way better. Especially when you spend like half an hour straight just free building, practicing the same edit sequences, and you're practicing making sure you're always doing the smartest edit in the particular situation. It translates over to your gameplay really, really well. And I wasn't doing any stupid dumb edits like Mongol Classics. Instead, I was always thinking of what edit I was doing. And of course, my crosshair was in a better spot to hit a max damage shot afterwards. Now, after about 8 hours straight of grinding and doing 2 hours straight of ranked reload, I decided to give that a break for a second. I went and rested my hands, and I came back at half an hour later and did some solo reload. And genuinely, this is the best way to get better at fighting in solos. I cannot say that enough. I was not just focused on hitting my shots and doing good edits and things like that. I was focused on outmaneuvering my opponent, thinking what they were going to do ahead of time, pre-piecing them, predicting them really well, getting exit control in all sorts of different angles, and swapping my angles the insane amount. I was playing so good after doing 8 hours straight of this routine, and at this final hour, I was genuinely in flow state the entire time. I'll show you some clips, but I was playing insanely well. On to day 2 of the hardest warm routine in Fortnite. And I know what you guys are thinking at this point in the time. No one has time to be spending 9 hours grinding Fortnite every single day. And I definitely don't have enough time to be free building for 4 hours. This doesn't seem realistic to do at all. And I 100% agree. After doing 1 day of doing this full routine, I realized I'm not built like that. I'm not going to be sitting there free building for 4 hours a day without going bald and without my fingers exploding. So what I decided to do was shorten and compress this routine down to its key components that will still get you crazy improvements. So let me run you through how I shortened this routine and how I was still able to massively improve. So what I decided to do was cut down that 4 hours of free building at the start, and I only free built until I felt absolutely warmed up and I was really moving with, you know, no messed up edits, no misclicks, no missed timings, and I was basically just in flow state while free building. And that would take around normally 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how much sleep I had, how much caffeine I had, all these other factors. So again, for you, it might take 5 minutes, it might take 20 minutes, it might take an hour, but free build until you're in the flow state, you're not making any mistakes. Then move on to the Pro Zone Wars. And the Pro Zone Wars, in my opinion, is still really good. And what I'd recommend doing is trying to alternate who you're 1v1ing. So rather than me just 1v1ing Resub for an hour straight, I decided to 1v1 people from my friends list or my viewers sometimes on stream. And I would go ahead and just change up who I was 1v1ing after about 10 1v1s. And I was 1v1ing some of the craziest players. A bunch of kids with a fighting mask class who have max passion and are really insane. And I was getting a lot of improvement from doing that. Oh, bro fell for literally the oldest trick in the book, and he fell for it. That's crazy. And then finally, I kept in the 3 hours of ranked reload because I think that is genuinely so good. Doing 3 hours, especially with solo reload, gets you so much better at fighting. And this is the routine that I'm going to be following for the next 6 days. So let's see my improvement at the end of it. Can you edit, bro? Just do something like... No way. No way you were hiding in the cone. No way. Now for days 3 and 4, I just did a nice simple short routine and I hopped straight into the solo reload, and this is where the bulk of my practice took place. And again, these days I was playing insanely well. I was getting really nice double kills. I was hitting the majority of my shots. And this is one thing I've noticed: when you do a nice and short warm-up routine and you just sort of get straight into playing, you're not being too flashy, you're not doing anything too crazy. Instead, you're just focused on having good piece control, hitting shots well, making sure all your edits are consistent, and you're going through the lobby really methodically. You're not taking loads of damage every single fight. Also, one thing I noticed is my defensive fighting got way better while I was doing this solo reload, because you're constantly practicing having fights where you're scuffed and your hits are low HP. Your defensive fighting really massively improves, and I was taking a lot of nice defensive clips when people were getting on my wall. Now on to day 5 of this routine, and this is where it was all coming together. I was playing absolutely insane. Every single game I was getting a high kill win, like 15, 18, 19 kill wins. I was going ahead and doing crazy plays like angle swapping and things. I was applying everything that I've been learning while I've been making the fighting masterclass. I was having some insanely good peaks. I'll just let the gameplay clips play in the background, but I was playing so unbelievably well. Also, one big thing that I noticed is my defensive fighting was just way better than normal, but also just my piece control. Like, I was just doing so much better piece control plays, like angle swapping into piece control, going ahead and changing the direction of, you know, where I'm actually piecing from. I was doing so many nice plays that I never normally do just on 5 days of this this routine. Genuinely, guys, if you want to try out this routine, I'll leave a full link below of everything that's in the full routine as well as the shortened routine. It is genuinely that good and I'd really recommend you check it out. As you can see from these clips, I'm absolutely primed up in the background. Now on to day 6, I was playing unbelievably good on this penultimate day. Literally, as soon as someone would smack on my wall when I was on the defensive, I would just full piece them, edit course them, and just shit on them pretty much every single time. I don't know what was going on, but I was playing so good when I was on the defensive, and I managed to get my highest ever kills from doing all this solo reload grinding. Of course, I was still doing the free building and the zone wars at the start, but the majority of this routine just comes from playing solo reload. If you guys want to try this out, please leave down in the comments what is your kill record when playing solo reload. I actually want to see what you guys are able to do, because 25 kills felt like an insane amount because of how hard it is to get a lot of kills in reload with everyone running away the whole time. However, it is now time for the final day where we're going to conclude our challenge and we're going to take on the solo cash cup to see what we can achieve. Oh my fucking god, that was actually crazy. Hold on. Wait, that was actually despicable. What is going on? And before our final test of the solo cash cup, of course, we have to do the normal warm-up. I did around 5 minutes of free building, so I was a bit pressed for time. And then I went ahead and did some zone wars 1v1s against Resub. Especially for a solo cash cup, I'd highly recommend doing some zone wars. It really warms up your brain for just how an endgame actually plays out with, you know, the 10-tick zone playing behind you and forcing you forward. You have to practice your tarping as well as just going up players and things like that. It's definitely really worth doing. Then, of course, even though I only had like 20 minutes to warm up on this particular day, so I wasn't able to do the full routine, I still did a full game of reload and went ahead and got a win just warming up for the cash cup. Also, one really good thing about doing reload just before a cup starts, or even late starting the cup by a couple minutes, is the people you go against are way better than normal. So it's hard to drop a high kill win, and you're against much better opponents, so you can practice fighting versus better players just before you hop in the cup. Now, with this short warm up of literally like 20 minutes of zone wars and 1 game of solo reload, it's time to see if we can actually show off our improvement from doing this routine, or whether it's just placebo and you're better off spending your time doing something else with the solo cash cup opens. The very first hour of this cup, I was literally just doing bad rotates and getting myself killed. I constantly tried to go early, and I realized that this just isn't how you're meant to play solo cash cup opens when everyone around you is just trying to fight the whole time. So even though I was fighting really well and hitting all my shots, it didn't matter because I was still going down, and even hitting a 185 isn't going to save you in a situation when you're getting lobby focused. What is that, bro? What is that? Why is the height kid standing on somebody's wall right in front of me? That was horrendous. After that bad game, it literally came down to my last 2 games to qualify. Otherwise, this whole week would be a complete waste of time. Oh, look at the pad, boys. Look at this pad. It's a generational pad. Please don't die there. Put out the for this. Somebody build up for me. Somebody build up, boys. Not a single builder upper. I can't believe it.
Don't even see me. This might be the god hiding spot, if not. Am I hidden? Surely I'm hidden here. 3 games in a row, long ass games, we get nothing. Will I actually get into the end game?
Oh, the angle swap, they can't teach that race. Give me that spaz, boys! I pulled back for the DJ top! I'm gonna qual, boys! I'm gonna qual!
I'm just waiting for it. No!
No, I'm milked! Where the f is this height get at? I don't even know. I'm qualled! I'm qualled! Oh. Wait for this kid to grapple up and then hit the pump. Watch his tech, guys. Watch his tech. He's gonna grapple up. I'm gonna block him and I'm gonna one pump him. Ready? Oh, never mind. Yeah.
No grapple, 7 for 7. Mate, you gotta at some point just think it's a me problem, you know? I'm not trying to fight you. I'm trying to fight you.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Despite that milk at the very end, I've managed to qualify and I've still got 1 game left. However, this last game is against a load of really good players who are already qualified for the Cash Cup, and they're all playing max passion, so it's going to be very hard. I might pre-pop a big before next. Should I pre-pop a big or not? Wait for the next person to go. That one. Can you not? I'll be on. That grapple, bro. Buddy, I'm not even low. What are you doing? Oh, give me that minigun, boy. Boys, I'm primed up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually primed. Oh, let's go. Right, no matter. Got no audio showing. W Fortnite. Nothing, no audio bug. Wait, am I him or what? I might actually be. That was kind of a crazy refresh. That's not something I wanted down, not gonna lie. No! I tried to edit reset. I didn't realize I was one. No, the edit reset was almost there, boys. I don't think he would have fallen for it. Oh, I'm so close to being primed, boys. I'm so close. After that insanely clutched last game, I was able to finish inside the top 400 on the leaderboard and get 192 points, which is my record ever points. In the past, a couple times of doing routines and just practicing for solo cash cups, I've got like 160, 170 points, but I've never even got more than 180, and I was able to break 192 in this solo cash cup due to those clutch last two games where I got second place back to back. And it's not like I was even just playing max passion. I had decent average elims every single game while playing for endgame, and I was able to outplace loads of pros like Noah, Reason, Janice, Veno, Rescard, loads of these other pros. I was able to outplace them just by doing this routine for a week and going ahead and practicing every single day. Again, down below in the description, I'll leave a full copy of the full extended routine as well as the shortened routine for you guys who want to try this out. Huge shout out to Koyoto, who originally sent this routine over to me. He is an unbelievably talented player. I'll also link his YouTube down below. And make sure to go check out the Fighting Masterclass if you guys want more routines and more practice ways of getting better, as well as just 160 videos on improving the fighting are showed inside there. And appreciate you guys watching, and see you in the next one.